Hello, foodies, and welcome back to FUT in Review, episode 698. Today, we are discussing the October feedback update. We have a 3 times gauntlet winner on the show, and what to do if you're in a FUT rut. My name is John, and I'll be your host today, and I'm joined by none other than James Toland, aka Dolando77, the myth, the legend. He's here. He's back wearing a brand new cap as well. How you doing, James?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, John? Good to see you again, Graeme. Good to be here to the listeners.
You're
Good
looking
evening.
extremely sharp. How's the cap fitting?
Fantastic. Fits like a glove, John. Brilliant.
I'm not
Superb.
one to push out merch, but check out the merch store for that cap as well.
It's a
Wearing
belter.
wearing a different version of the same cap by the looks of it. A 3-time gauntlet winner. Perfect streak from him. It's Mr. Blue himself. He's back. It's Graeme. Welcome back, Graeme.
Thanks for having me back, John.
It's good. You're more often on shows than I am these days.
Yeah, taking over.
Tuesday club, Friday club, Sunday club. It's good to have you guys. Guys, let's start this week. It's a Friday when we record this. I know we are ahead of schedule, so this show will be pushed, I don't know, somewhere next week on a Thursday or something. But I just want to ask you guys first something Daniel can ask the best.
This week in Football Ultimate Team.
How has this week in Football Ultimate Team been for you? Let's start with James. James, rated from 1 to 10, and why was it that good?
About 6 or 7 so far. Still in week 4,
It's
John.
a massive difference, though, 6 or 7. There's people that
Yeah.
flunk on a 6 or 7. Difference.
So I would say that also as well. Unfortunately, the untimely injury with I banged my ankle right off my bedpost, and I just had a massive bruise in my ankle, and it just was not for turning these left stick dribbles that you have to do. So it was just that I called it a day. So I didn't do champs. Tried a new formation at the start of the week. I haven't done the gauntlet right enough yet, but so far so good with the new formation. Decent rewards in terms of like coins out of rivals. I done the hero pack again, which I don't know why I did. I got Peter Crouch, so that was excellent. You know, I was absolutely ecstatic with that. Absolutely brilliant. So that's probably why it tailed off to possibly either a 6 or a 7, because I'm still unsure about that Peter Crouch, John. So other than that, it was so far so good. We're still in week 4.
I'll come back to that formation shortly, though, because I know someone who has probably had a great week. Graeme, how's your weekend footing?
If you asked me after Tuesday Club, I'd have said probably 6 or 7 as well, because, as I said on the pod, end up rage quitting 3 of my second round of the first lot of gauntlet games. Just couldn't be bored with the way people were playing. Just got tilted a bit, so I was like, rage quit, I'm out. Then after going back on Tuesday night, I decided I'm not going to try and chase the meta. I'm not going to play the same way everybody plays. I'm just going to have some fun here. So I've admitted before, Inter is my Italian team, but I love Arrigo Sacchi's AC Milan team at the 88-90 time. So I decided I was going to build a tactic based around that. So I went 4-4-2. I went and got myself fullback plus, winger plus, and I went on a streak of winning the perfect gauntlets 3 times in a row. So I only needed an extra 2 wins, so I gave away a couple of wins in my last go, just because I didn't need them. So, and then Rivals, Wednesday, everybody's like, it's the worst night. Starting Division 6, went on a complete and massive unbeaten run. I'm now in Division 4. Rewards were good. I got a Cornerstone City TK. I think who else? I got a lot of high-rated fodder, like nobody that really gets in my team. But yeah, it's been brilliant. So I'd say 9 out of 10.
Whoa, 9 out of 10, James.
Solid.
And also, he's trying not to look very smug, but he is sort of enjoying himself there.
I'm enjoying myself, but I don't like being smug about it. But like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been fun.
Honestly, though, you can be proud, not only because of the results, right? But I do very much applaud you switching formation, the setting up a tactic you think you like, period. And then show everyone, because I do think that this year many formations are actually viable, but the problem is you face so often the same setup, player and formation wise, that it's easy to consider that that's the only thing that's viable. But I don't think it's actually true. Let's dive into that because James also had a little bit of information. But let's ask you first. You went to 4-4-2, Graeme.
Yeah,
What's interesting? Something interesting you want to share about that formation and what's happening with it?
so it's a 4-4-2. I went full back versatile. Obviously, that's new this year. I've tried it on and off a couple of times, and it's like started off with the wing backs and on support because I wanted the wing backs to get up, but they left just too much space. So I was like, I'll try versatile because it tells you that they can do both jobs, and it actually does it really well. I noticed if I'm bombing up the right, the left back cuts in, vice versa. They're defending great, they're supporting my attack great, and then as I mentioned on the Tuesday Club, my player of the week was Alicia Thompson, the Chelsea women's team winger. She was the SBC. She's got winger plus plus. So I have that. What's his name? The English boy from Espanyol, Dolan. He's winger plus plus. So it's like AC Milan played with the two wide wingers. So it's like I'm going to have them on wingers. And then obviously Poacher doesn't really work for me this year. Don't know what it is. And false 9, they dropped a little bit too deep. So I went advanced forward attack and advanced forward support. And just the movement that you keep wide, everybody expects you to come in narrow. So if you can get this wee nice triangles going between your fullbacks, your midfielders, into your strikers, into your wingers, you're getting right through them quite often, quite easily. It's just been so fun. I've been scoring goals left, right, and centre. You are a little bit vulnerable in midfield. You've only got the two central midfielders, not the two CDMs, but I've been quite aggressive. Whenever somebody's trying to attack me, I'm just straight getting touch tight close, winning the ball, and then starting again. So I've just tried to play my own way, have fun, and it's just been great for me.
Is the flat 4-4-2 or the one with the two CMs?
No, it's the flat 4-4-2, so it's two centre mids.
Aye. That sounds great, James. I think you did something similar.
I did, John. So with the 4-4-2, obviously you've got the two banks of four, solid. So I went with 4-2-4 this week. To be honest with you, I just thought I'd go for
Not
it.
scoring
and
enough
then
goals already in this game. You're like, I need 4 up top.
Aye, but also it's good with your wingers so high. Like if your opponent plays if his opponent doesn't basically have his fullback on defence, then it's really good for counters. So that's good as well. I like Poacher. I've liked it for a few years now, so I've got Poacher, but I like Poacher support. I think that's pretty good. That sometimes they drop deep. Also, I've used a thing that we spoke about, John, on the false 9. So I've used that. So that's pretty good with the Poacher. That's decent. The two CMs, just ball winning, box to box ball winning. I play with one winger just to spread the play, and then I have a inside forward. But I like to build up in a 3. So basically it's a 4-2-4, but I play it as a 3-3-4. So, for example, the left back's full back defend, and then my right wing back's Frimpong. Finally, I got Frimpong, so he's on wing back support, so he's got plus plus. I like the wing back support because it either goes out wide or it actually comes in and it bees like your third CM, but you don't need to actually play the full back on inverted wing back to actually make that happen. Wing back support I feel is really good as build up play and attacking, so I have that, and it's been working out pretty well to my advantage. And then the SBC that I fell in love with this week is Mateta. I love a big bruiser up front like a John Hartson or a Chris Sutton. So we've got him up front, John. It's terrific. I've still got Pina as my false 9. But I like building up in the 3. And the way this game works in terms of mechanics and things like that, I feel you're better defending with the AI running back the way instead of being stagnant. So, for example, if you've got the fullback on defend, your opponents always get that run in behind and then it's just going to be, they're just going to be stagnant, and then they need to turn around and cover the space. But for example, say I've got my wing backing support and he's already up in the attack. He's obviously, the AI is going to bring him back anyway, and then because he's in the running stance instead of being stagnant, in my opinion, he's going to intercept more balls that way. And then when the opponent's running in behind, my wing back's already in the running motion anyway, so the wing back's running back anyway, so it isn't stagnant, like their boots aren't frozen to the ground and then they're trying to turn quicker, and that doesn't happen. So I feel that's a huge benefit, having that way. So that's why I've only got one on fullback defend, and I've only got on one fullback defend for the whole point of the support, having three at the back, and the build up, that is. So it's been working out okay, and also as well 4 weeks in, but I feel this year, just the way how manual defending is, I feel you're at a huge loss, which is, this is going to sound absolutely bizarre, and you'll probably disagree with me. I wouldn't disagree with you disagreeing with me, but I feel if you play with CDM this year, I feel it's at your peril, because the way you want to defend this year and build up as a unit and quickly right stick switch and like I said, build as a unit, the CDMs are a wee bit too back this year, so there's more triangles opening up for your opponent to just take attack with it past you, where I feel it's more, you're more in a line of the, like, a solid, like CMs. I feel CMs are and also with the new role, box to box ball rope winning. I seen a guy get 15-0 having playing with a bronze team, and he had box to box ball winning, and I thought that was pretty good as well. Going back to my theory with the centre mids or the CDM, instead of they're staying stagnant in the wrong position and they're deep, they're actually, the AI is actually making them run with your opponent's attacker. So again, it's easier to intercept it because the AI is still running. So it's been working out pretty well for me. I just thought I'd go gung-ho with it. And to be brutally honest as well, in terms of pressing in real life football, a lot of teams play a 4-2-4. It's good to pressurise your opponent, especially with the short goal kicks in real life. So I just thought I'd go for it, John, after a hazardous start the last few weeks and try to be safe. I just thought, I'll outscore you, I'll outscore you, and we'll see how that gets on.
That's an interesting tactic, though. How do you guys stay sane if you concede 2 goals? Because both very aggressive formations. Both times, if you go over the midfield, you're probably overpowered man-wise.
Mentality, John, very, very easy, mate. Simple, to be honest with you. Go into every game expecting you need to score 2 minimum, and that solves it. That's the way I see it. Even if my opponent scores first or scores 2 goals, I still need to score 2 anyway, so it doesn't affect my game plan in any way.
That's actually a nice little tip you gave there. I'd almost say it's a
FUT Coaching's top tip.
Graeme. Go ahead, mate.
I've stole it from your sort of playbook, John, taking your coaching tactics and tips. If I go 2 down, just let...
Now you're really taking over.
I'm only just preaching what you've already told us. I let them celebrate. I don't even tap A on the Xbox controller and try and force them to move along. I've always got a drink, so controller down. I wipe my hands, make sure if I'm sweaty, wipe my controller, take a drink, maybe step up, fix myself, sit back down, and then I just try and decompress and just go back at it, because I know I can score goals. I know I can score a lot of goals. So if I do somehow, it's just that reset of mind. Just relax, calm down, do what I'm good at. Don't worry about what they're doing, and just go at it again. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever been 2-0 down in this tactic so far. But I did have one bad game where I got too cocky. I was 5-0 up, and I kept cutting through him, and he kept pulling his keeper out, and I kept going around his keeper. And then rather than just scoring, I was like, you know what? I'm ahead, I'm 5-0, too cocky. Started trying all different silly things instead of actually just scoring. And then he got it back to like 5-3 or 5-4, and then I was like, what are we doing? Started panicking a bit every time he started clawing it back down. So that's what I said. When he scored his 4th and he was giving it the whole celebrations, I was like, fine, reset, smash them by 8-4 or something like that.
So relax, very important. Take your time and make sure you're hydrated. And like James says, just don't care about them scoring because you need to score 2 a minimum to at least win this match anyways.
Yeah, have faith in
That's some
yourself.
good tips though. Sorry?
Have faith in yourself. That if you're
Yeah.
getting too frustrated and too tilted and you think everything's against you, it is going to go against you. The moment you switch that and go, "Do you know what, I can actually beat this person. They might be good, but I'm better. I can see where I'm cutting them open." Focus on what's good about your game. Focus what you know works, and you'll see so much difference. Because then you're not worrying about DDA or whatever nonsense, and you'll just start noticing all the good things that happen, and it just spirals.
Yeah, that's a good question because a good topic to take a further deep dive into. We run a coaching service, obviously, right? By the way, Food and Review 15 on the website if you want to give it a 15% discount now. So go to foodcoaching.com for that. Besides that, we get a lot of emails, we get a lot of messages, and of course on the Discord you see a lot of messages of people that get frustrated. They want to hang up their controller. They want to toss their PlayStation out of the window, or they say this is not going to be my year. We're 4 weeks in. How do you get out of the situation? Have you ever? Let's start with this. Have you ever been in a situation that you're feeling this way as well? And how can you get out of this? Before I give any tips myself, let's start with James.
Just play your way out of it, John. Like me myself.
Just like Celtic.
Well, what I mean by that is you're only going to get better if you practice. Like for example, me playing with my feet, I used to lose every single game when I was younger. It was really annoying, but not from a cocky point of view, but I just knew if I just stuck at it, I'll be better than them, and that's what happened. It took me a few years, but then my group of friends still to this day cannot beat me at FIFA. So it's just you just need to just practice and just get out of the rut and just take one game at a time. Really, to be honest.
Graeme, you ever been in a spot like that?
Not this year. Previous years, yeah, of course. Like sometimes when you just come up against the same meta tactics, the same everything, same teams, yeah, you get tilted and it's whatever. Like everybody has their own struggles. Like James says, he obviously plays with his feet. I've got arthritis in my hands, so I struggle with my thumbs, so I can't right stick switch properly. I can't do the skill moves that everybody does. So again, it's working on what you know works for you. But even that, I know it's obviously a FIFA podcast and we're discussing it, but sometimes take a break from the game. If it's that bad for your mental health, play a different game for a couple of hours. Take the night off. Do you know what I mean? It's still going to be there the next day afterwards. Come back to it after a wee break from it. Does the world good.
It's why they invented the new Pokemon game, right?
Yep.
No, we're not gonna go there. But I think that's it. That's most important. And also, I wanna practice what I preach, right? And I think saying things out loud is actually very important, and actually is more important than people more realize. If you start going on a rampage, I mean, it can be nice to complain about things, right? But the moment you're saying I'm not good at this game, you start to get less good at this game immediately, because then you only see the negatives in your playstyle from there. The moment you say this is not going to be my game, I absolutely know for a fact the next couple of games will be horrendous, and only to confirm yourself that this is not going to be your game. But if you do take a step back, and you can still complain, just try to make it less harsh for yourself. Instead of saying I suck at this game, you can say this wasn't a good match for myself. Right? You're basically saying the same things. And you can still vent your frustrations about a certain formation or the fact that Pina is getting used or whatever, but you're not bringing it too much negative. If someone wakes up and you say, "Oh, I don't feel like working," it's going to be a long day for you, right? But if you wake up and say, "Look, I don't really feel like working, but I'm sure as hell going to give it all I've got, and it's probably be all right. But hey, at 10 a.m. I'm going to have that meeting, and that's going to be fun." I swear that day is going to be much quicker while it's actually being the same day. It feels much better. And that's the same with playing this game, or any game for that, anything competitive. If you're in a rut, if you're feeling down, make sure you don't say it out loud in a negative way about yourself. You can say it's a bad game, sure, go ahead. But don't say I'm suck at this game. Don't say this game isn't for me. And don't say I'm getting older and I'm not good enough anymore to play. I'm very disappointed in myself. Because you will get disappointed in yourself. You can also turn it around. I had someone this week, 54 years old, having training and elite player last year, not getting past div 5 currently. Like, I'm stuck and I'm getting too old. I'm like, mate, you're like 1 month older than you were playing elite. That month didn't change anything at all. But you're so negative even looking at your coaching session. And what I did is I started that session by only highlighting the positive things. Look, you're training players well. Look how good this touch is. Look, you're shielding off here. I see football knowledge there. Look at this triggered run. Fantastic. You didn't make the pass, but that's all right. You actually saw it, and that's what most people actually don't do. You switch to the right defender. Look at these 2 tackles. That's amazing, mate. All we have to make sure is now you can do it over a 90-minute match, and you're fine. And suddenly you bet it within 3 days of that coaching session. Now they're in Div 3. It's just a mindset. Sure, if there's mechanical things you can work on, that's where we help people as well. But 50% of everything here is mindset or the way you talk to yourself. And you probably can acknowledge this, but it's a lonely game to play at times, right? You're there with yourself, want to lock in a performance. Time's probably against you, especially when you get RH, where time is limited. You can't unlimited experiment time-wise as well for certain things. So the moment you go and have a sit down, it needs to be good. But sometimes the performances aren't just good. But try to focus on the positive and stay away of bringing yourself down. Because I think comparing yourself and talking negative about yourself is doing more than make you feel bad about this game. Hope that makes sense a bit, James.
Yeah, definitely. Just goes back to what I touched on, mentality, John. That's all it is. Definitely. I totally agree with what you're saying.
Graeme.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, the military, like British Army, the American Army, and everything, they have a mentality. Everything is that if you wake up in the morning with a bad mood or whatever, you make your bed. You make your bed. That's your first task completed for the day. If you can complete that first task, you'll be able to complete every other task. So, let's say you just need to work on what's good for you. So, focus on trying to make sure that you learn that skill move or you score a goal or whatever. And then as soon as you start ticking off these wee simple goals, it will all, like you said, it steamrolls into positivity and it will get better.
There is not. It's showing that you switch to a formation you really wanted to make work and find fun again, and suddenly the performances come along with having fun.
Yeah.
Because you're not focused on the performances and you're turning that negative mindset or that rot that was about to go down into something that can be fun. And the more relaxed you are, the better results are. And of course, everyone has a limit on where they can get, right? But that's fine because those limits are actually very much the least higher. Like, even if your Div 3 is your highest level you could reach at the end, that's still better than 80% of all the other players. So there's still something to be proud of there. So don't underestimate yourself and don't compare yourself. It's a lovely topic, which I would be dying to discuss for hours and hours and hours, but that's not how long this podcast lasts. Plus, it's what I do in my day job, helping people with these problems. So I think we've said enough about it. But if you have any questions about this, remarks, don't agree with us, or you're like, hey, this podcast is actually made for me, let us know in the comments. And especially on Spotify, we can start a conversation or join us, of course, on our Patreon, patreon.com /FUT in review. And we are grateful to have you on, but also willing to help you out in that way as well. Guys, feedback. We've talked about feedback. We spoke about EA listening to us. And there was a message today saying, you know what? This is our October feedback. It's now almost November. We've received some feedback. Let's talk about feedback. Let me first start by asking Graeme. Graeme, what do you think of their communication so far?
By and large, it's been a lot better than it has been over previous years. We said before the game came out, there would be a lot more transparent, a lot more honest, it's a bit more open, less defensive. They've had a few wee issues over the last couple of weeks, but I mean, when was the last time we ever had a detailed feedback session? Like, how many surveys are we getting every game? I got an email this morning asking me to do a survey about my experience in the game, and then we get this report out today telling us, right, so you have told us X, Y, and Z, and this is what we believe you are telling us, and this is how we're going to implement it. So you can't fault them because they could just stay silent and say, well, this is the game we've given you, deal with it. But they're saying, right, you don't like this, we'll try this. If it doesn't work, tell us, we'll try it again. So you can't fault them. It's been good.
James, what are your thoughts on the feedback and the transparency so far?
Aye, it's been very, very good. It's the best ever in my memory, to be honest. And even so, even a few years they've done surveys before, and that's already good, and you can check the box. But they're actually delivering. They're actually being consistent with it. They're posting on their socials. You could already see there's numerous things in the game from release to now that they've implemented due to feedback. And then what we're going to discuss for the update in the closing couple of minutes, what we're going to speak about is that they're already implementing that the community are already speaking about, and they're not doing it in a few months. They're not doing it next title. They're doing it within like a month's time frame, really. So it's refreshing, really. To be honest, it's about time. And as a fan base and a community, John, we've deserved this for so many years. We all want the best game possible, devs and the community. So it's good that we can be transparent between one another and each other and get the feedback and be in a more positive communication loop between each other, I would say so. So yeah, it's great.
Nothing yet about shadow patches so far either.
No.
That's been a big relief for me. Normally, 1 month in, the content is like, first game, the worst Green was perfect. After the second week, the game got nerfed down. After the fourth week, it's like a broken machine again. This year, it's like people will still post that meme. I've seen some people talk about shadow patching, but the way this transparency now currently is, just leaves no space for it, something like that at all to even be discussed. So I think, well, honestly, if you start talking about that currently, can I say they're making a fool out of themselves? Because why? Like the transparency they've admitted now, and also I put the notes on the screen yet. Now they're also admitting things that aren't good enough yet, which is a first as well, eh?
Yeah.
Surprising. Shall we take a deep dive into the October feedback update?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll put it on screen. I'm not going to go through the whole story. I'll put the link into the show notes, of course, so you can have a look what it's all about. But basically, the most important thing is, again, we are listening to your feedback, recovering your feedback over the past month, what we've done about it so far, and what we're going to do in the future. And these are the couple of topics. What they are going to do is manual defending. They're going to change it. I want to have your opinion in a moment. They said what you have told us is that defending against dribblers can feel too difficult, especially with the precise movement around the edge of the box, resulting in potentially increasing threat of goal scoring chances and overly high score lines. The Pina story we did this week as well, for example. What we've done so far is that we've been following this, and this is an important one for me as well. Is we've been following your feedback for weeks on this topic, and we want to make sure that we gave it time to evolve before considering any changes. FC26 is a new game, and it's important to give you time to get familiar with its mechanics. That's something I've been saying for weeks now. Do you agree, Graeme?
Yeah, we said this every year. Everybody sort of wants that comfort blanket of last year's game that they perfected or they mastered. We get a new game. It has its own quirks and its own wee traits. And because we can't get the hang of it straight away, everybody doesn't like it. They want back what they had. There is that comfort blanket. But what you said there, it is great. So they have heard what we said and they went, we'll give you a couple of weeks just to make sure it's not like a buyer's remorse type thing where you've chucked the baby out the bathwater too quick, and then we'll see how it goes. It's not improved. Everybody still thinks it's too much, so we'll intervene now and we'll try and do a little bit of touch up here and see if that makes it a little bit better. So like I said, it's good change. It's good communication. It's not necessarily immediate rushing, but it's considered and it's well thought through. So it's just a great change from them.
It feels good, eh? They also said we made one change that with the bruiser, for example, so 2 weeks ago already. And what we're doing next is we're going to be making improvements to jockey responsiveness. They mentioned that before. And another change that we're making on defenders is all about kickoffs. Kickoffs are getting hard to score from in competitive gameplay. Again, what we've told them is defenders can give too much room to attackers during kickoffs, causing an increase in potential attacking threats resulting from a kickoff. In practice, this has led to many goals getting scored from kickoffs. What we've done so far is we started updating kickoffs as version 1.03. And what we're doing next is we're going to be making further improvements to AI defensive positioning during kickoffs. And with this update, we are planning on implementing more aggressive man marking that only applies to the defensive side around kickoff. This is in order to reduce the amount of goal scoring threats that can occur due to general kickoff positioning. And like we are with the jockey change, we are targeting the end of October for this update. James, good, not good, agree, disagree?
Can't fault it, John. Couldn't say anything bad about it, John. Great. Can't praise it enough. And just the language of it, the three components that they're doing is what you've told us, what we've done so far, and what we're doing next. So they're signposting it for us, and they haven't really done that at all. So it's good to have that. And as a consumer, you want a wee bit of signposting from the company just to keep yourself in the loop regarding some aspects of the game that you've bought. So yeah, everything's positive.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Next thing they said about FUT is, of course, the matchmaking issue. We discovered that the first FUT champions of the season had a matchmaking issue, and we addressed it as fast as we could. They explained what happened, but the most important take of that now is that you now will be playing champs with players who are in similar form as your own FUT champions record currently. There's some thing about career mode and transfer negotiations, which is very important. Well, this is an Ultimate Team podcast, so we're not going to discuss that. There are some faults which they address to as well. For example, incorrect Ultimate Team online draft rewards, progression issues with the season pass, of course. The corrected challenges rewards in game before the event was live. I think that was an important one. But yeah, I think that's good. And this is an important sentence which I just randomly dropped in here, but they says, we also continue to see your feedback around evolutions and transfer market volatility. We'll share updates with you around this feedback and what we're doing next week when we go into more detail for you. And this is something I absolutely love because, hey, this sounds like we don't have a solution yet. We're very busy with fixing other things currently, but we hear you. Next week, we'll be back into that details. We'll pitch our first solutions. It doesn't state they're bringing it in the end of October update. I actually think they probably won't. But because it's also content related, they might have a plan in place which can be with the next promo even, or in 2-3 weeks from now. This sounds terrific to me, guys. And I know I'm Mr. Optimistic. You have Mr. Terrific and Superman, and I've got Mr. Optimistic in this podcast, but I am very optimistic. I can't say anything else about it. I'm sorry. Anyone that has beef to pick here, or how do you say it? Some beef to pick with these guys. No,
you said it.
nothing.
Just beef. That's
No beef from me, John. No.
no.
The one thing I do have some beef on, though, is the PC optimization. The PC version of FUT, they made a big deal out of it when it arrived. Better graphics stimulation, more optimization. You could go to 120 or unlocked frame rate. It sounded absolutely terrific. In practice, this game is a hot mess on most PCs, even on new hardware. We've got some new hardware running here. Dropped frames, input dropping off, halftime at the start of the game, halfway through a match, the graphics reset. and it looked like I was playing the PlayStation 1 version of the game. And then I had to go back to change it all, but I can't change it all because I only have 30 seconds from kickoff. Controller inputs falling off. Basically, it's still a hot mess. They are actually acknowledging that in these notes as well. I'm not going to go all of it but there is a list if you look at the tracker, of course. But that and the fact that cheating is still absolutely everywhere on PC is still doing my head in. And the transparency on cheating is not there. So they're very open about content mistakes. They're very open about things they will be changing or looking into. They're very open in why they haven't touched certain things yet. They are very open about the PC being technical, not as good as it should be. But hey, you know that fancy new anti-cheat engine? Nothing. Again, no feedback on that. Why is that, James? Have you any clue why that's never mentioned? Or are we complaining enough to get it to their feedback?
No, I think it's a reasonable claim, John. I couldn't really tell you. Like you said, it's even from launch. It hasn't been great for PC players. I can only go with my experience with PS5 Pro, but it certainly hasn't been a good experience for the PCs users. But you know that it's good that it's been acknowledged, it's been highlighted. Be frank, to be sitting the 17th of October still hasn't been a fix. Obviously it's very, very frustrating being a PC player, but at least they're bringing some of it to the table and telling you what's what. But of course, you know, the anti-cheating's a big, big thing, and that needs to be eradicated as soon as possible in gaming.
Yeah, it just frustrates me even more this year, Graeme, that they're so transparent, but not transparent enough that they actually don't explain why that PC market is still separate, which is because it's cheating, obviously. And they never talked about the cheating again, besides the first mention they had about the PC version. Everything else, it's super transparent and they're super clear about, which makes it more frustrating for me than ever. Any points from you from that point?
I think they're trying to just stay on the positive train. So obviously, look at everything good that we're doing, and just maybe ignoring the cheating side of it. Could be that they don't want to say anything while they are in the process of trying to fix something. But if they are having problems, they maybe want to contact their sister companies in EA, because Battlefield, from what I've seen, is flat out
Same.
detecting people. Even people on consoles using Chronuses are being banned flat out. So maybe they will have a wee word with them and see how their system's working in comparison. But I don't play PC. I don't play against PC players, so I can't talk for playing against cheaters or how it goes. But unfortunately, it's every game you go on, there's always a cheater somewhere. People just want to exploit the easy route. So I feel for them in a sense that if some even have companies that are far more, what would be the best way to describe it? Far more advanced in their anti-cheat systems and everything else, they're still plagued with it. So it's one of the things you can never really win.
No, it's a shame though, because this the game actually has a lot of potential on PC. It looks absolutely stunning when it does run good. It doesn't look bad on PlayStation or something either. It is a pretty smooth game, but seeing this game run on like 120 frames is really smooth. Seeing this game on a widescreen monitor is absolutely something else, right? It's like, I'm not saying you feel like you're in a stadium, but it's like the closest thing you can get. That would be awesome to play that game on tournaments. You can use PlayStation controller on PC, right? So there's no reason not to play that PC version on tournaments, for example. Yeah, there's a lot more highlighting I can do about that. But the fact they're not mentioning anything about that, I find a bit frustrating. And honestly, I'm not playing on PC either, right? So it's not my issue, so to say. But we also have to do this like from a
It's the community's issue.
yeah, I think it's a bigger issue than this. It's the same why I still feel we should have one account that you can use on multiple consoles. Fine if you need to buy the game multiple times, but not manage a club multiple times, depending on which console you put the game. Like there's plenty of games that do it differently. And I've said my feedback about that a million times. And not alone in that matter as well. How good would it be, Graeme, that you pick your Switch 2 and you can play there when you're off on holiday with your own team, right?
Yeah.
Why would that be an issue? There's no reason to. But now you have to choose at the start of the year. Are you going to do the PlayStation or are you going to do the Switch or are you going to do the Xbox version? I think that's also wasted potential commercially for them there, and it shouldn't be that difficult. But I think it all goes back into the fact that also means you will be able to use your PC, and that's as leak that's just a leak version that's just broken, and you can exploit it too much. Hence, we don't give you all the other benefits which an EA account would provide, and that's just a shame. And hashtag end rent from me, but nevertheless, good feedback. Thank you for the transparency. And I quite like it so far. I quickly want to mention challenges because there's 2 weeks left of the season currently. I think when we record this, James.
I believe so, John.
2 weeks. When is this season successful for you?
The season successful for me?
Yeah.
In terms of what?
Yeah, well, we're two more weeks of season 1 in FUT. When season 1 ends, when are you like, this was a good season for me? Or don't you actually care? You just look week by week and it's all right.
I'm not really bothered, John. I'll probably be bothered when the season December time, January, when you've got good solid players that will be there for a good few months. But don't get me wrong, I've done the squad battles thing, so I got like 10,000 SP, so I think I'm up to the high 30s now. So I've got the boy from Manchester United. The name escapes me, unfortunately. He's like, yep, I've got his card. Thank you very much, Graeme. Brilliant, good card. It's in my team. I like the card. It's good having a season pass. I've got Dembele, good super sub for my Celtic player. That's good. Yeah, it's decent. I'm more hyped for next season, if it's going to be Brazil, if it's going to be the same theme like England players, if we're going to get silver stars, Brazilian icons, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so it's decent, and I'd probably say that's a success, John, because it's free. It came with the game. So
well, nothing's free in life, my friend.
Of course, I've never had a free lunch, John. I'm sure you're the same, but it came with the game. So, it's a success. It was all right.
We will get you a free lunch on the Scotland event, though. Don't worry about that. Graeme, you're already in the end game. You're already in possession of Tamori, I suppose?
Yeah, finished it last night. So Tamori is now
good.
So his gold card has been sent to the deep dives of the Never Realm of the squad, and he's been upgraded to his new card, which is really, really nice. Managed to play about 3-4 games with him. So when somebody's trying to do their best ballerina spinny roonies with Pina, take a couple of steps back and he does really block really well. So it's been a success since I've completed it. I quite liked Conor Gallagher as well. I skipped Rogers. I went for the pack instead, and I can't remember who I got, but there was a decent card there. I've not tried Manu yet. His playstyle, not his playstyle, his roles don't suit how I want. But I've enjoyed the fact that we've had silver icons. I was always a big fan of the silver stars, so getting the silver icons has been quite good. Obviously, we've got the silver league or cup or whatever it is this weekend as well, so I'll be looking forward to that and having the cards. So hopefully, when we do go to Brazil next season, we get some more of the silver icons. But it's been a success for me. I've completed it, got some good players, and there's quite a few evils at the end there. So my Rangers team has came on leaps and bounds.
That's pretty cool, though. I couldn't care less about the season. I just want to make sure I'm at like Div 3 when it ends. And for the rest, it's fine for me. I'm not
Oh,
one to play objectives.
in terms of where you want to be in rivals and champs, John, that's measure
For
success that
example,
way.
I mean, that's how I rate my success basically of the season. I don't care about the progression on the ladder, but yeah.
I agree with that. Rivals and a good finish in champs is my main objective. Definitely.
Well,
Perfect.
if that's the case, then I've managed to get Div 4. That's normally this is probably the quickest I've made it. Normally I'm quite slow with rivals. Consistent with champs so far, 2-9 wins over the 2 weekends. So then my perfect gauntlet runs. So I unfortunately had a family emergency. So the second prize, the French player Chardonnay, I couldn't get him because I was away from home. But I've done the kudos. I've got the Diouf. So it's in large gameplay wise that. Yeah, it's been a success.
It's that lucky hat, isn't it, Graeme?
It's not that one I'm wearing. It's this lovely one here.
There we go.
Best selling hat ever. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. We'll be back next week. So check out the shows again. We release publicly every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. UK, and every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. UK. And we record this way earlier than those shows. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you can also get the show, well, pretty fast after we record it and the first edit is out. So you can get this show way earlier. And that means in a weekend, you can usually listen to 2 shows if you're up for it while grinding the weekend out. So check out patreon.com/FUT review. I want to say thank you so much. I want to wish everyone a great time in the last 2 weeks of the season. I'll be back next week. And I'm actually expecting you guys will as well. That leaves us just with one thing left for us to do, and that is to drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it.
F-U-T.
I think I never get my timing right for that.
F-U-T.
Interview.
That's because of the Scottish internet, mate.
That's it, John. 90